Drive Energy Wednesday, hump day.
Hump day.
Kind of on a Masters hangover, but we're going to get into a recap of the Masters. If you haven't checked out our video from Sunday, do it. I was muted when it started. Got a little better from there. We're going to talk about Neil Shipley a little bit more. Scottie Scheffler is my new bestie, my new GOAT.
You're so full of shit.
I'm seriously going to get into that. And then we're going to preview the RBC Heritage and see if Matt Fitzpatrick, who I had in the Masters last week, can go back-to-back. Jordan, this is maybe the last time Jordan Spieth was good was this event last year. I bet on him, so he didn't end up winning. All right.
He won it 2 years ago, correct?
I think so.
Okay, we'll get into it.
Let's tee it up. What's up, buddy? How was your... So we were both on vacation.
We're both on parade.
We were both on parade. Stay on parade.
Shout out
D-Line.
Pookie is looking absolutely fire. That shirt is so sick.
Yeah, it's a great one. So playoffs are coming. Avs, Nuggets. It's going to be a dandy of a couple weeks, hopefully.
Should we
longer.
because this is a national podcast, we're not just Denver homers. Let's make legitimate predictions, NHL and NBA playoffs. So we just for clippable moments purposes, let's give Western Conference, Eastern Conference. NHL might be a little sketchy because I'm not super good at the conferences, but let's just give predictions and who we have winning it all.
Well, I can give you...
I can look it up on my phone.
I'm saying like the matchups, or you just don't know straight up who's...
No, I'm talking about like who's going to end up in the finals.
Yeah, I need to look it up for myself.
Okay, well, so you want me to start then?
Yeah.
You want to start NBA or
let's go NBA
NHL
first.
You want to go NBA first?
Yep.
So the East is ass. Let's just be real. The East is not good. The Knicks are the 2 seed in the East.
Yeah, they had to beat the Chicago Bulls in overtime in the last game of the season to gain the 2 seed.
So on the other side of that, kind of, it's low hanging fruit to pick the Celtics, but at the same time, who's going to play the Celtics? Like, I actually, surprisingly enough, crank it down over there, Marissa. I actually think the 76ers, they're going to have to face either. So if they get out of the play-in at 7, they would then play the Knicks at 2. That would then create a matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals of Celtics 76ers, correct?
Yes, they can not play each, or no, they might have to.
If they end up losing tonight and then winning the next play-in game.
Yes, it could be Celtics 76ers is a potential Eastern Conference Finals.
So I think the Sixers are going to beat the Heat. I actually think the Sixers are going to have a run this year partially because they haven't been talked about a whole shitload like they always do. They always get a lot of national run. So I think actually they're going to be a little bit more low-key and actually play well in this year's playoffs. Like Tyrese Maxey looks better than I think James Harden ever looked in the playoffs. So I'm going Sixers win the play-in game tonight. Is it tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Okay, tomorrow night. So I think it's
tonight. I'm sorry.
Okay, I think it's Sixers Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, a little 1-7.
Yeah, I think that would be fire. That's almost a possible like bracket feel to it, like a 1 and a 7. Nothing, it's not just the 1 and 2 matching up because the East is wide open. I mean, I don't trust the Knicks. I definitely don't trust the Bucks. I mean, I feel like the Pacers are the favorite, sleeper team to beat the Bucks, but it's really not a hot take because they're not going to have Giannis and they looked like ass anyway. I don't trust the Cavaliers. The Magic are the 5 seed. And then I trust the Heat and the 76ers more. And that's saying something because the Heat do have playoff pedigree. The 76ers have none of that. And then the Bulls and the Hawks, I don't trust either of them, obviously. So it does feel pretty wide open. Maybe the Magic make a run. You never know. They're low-key very good because Orlando's just a dog shit market.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams this year, in my opinion, that are the the next year team.
Yeah.
And the Magic fall right under that, where it's like, awesome, they're the 5 seed, they're in the playoffs. Get that team some playoff experience, and then you can try to start winning in the playoffs.
Do you know who else I think is a next year team is the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Oklahoma, and I think the Timberwolves are too, to be honest with you.
Well, I just don't. The Timberwolves are such a weird situation because I think they could definitely win a championship at some point, but I don't think they can do it with Rudy Gobert. Like, I don't think it's out of pocket for me to say that as much as he fills the stat sheet with blocks and rebounds, I don't think he is a championship basketball player. Tell me I'm wrong. Like, gladly tell me I'm wrong. But what he just does not seem like a locker room type of dude. It doesn't seem like anybody really enjoys playing with him. I think the Timberwolves, the Heat, fucking Suns, the Phoenix Suns. I was trying to say Heat and Suns at the same time. The Suns Timberwolves series is going to be a battle, and so is Clippers Mavericks. Those are going to be all must watch. But ultimately, I'm going to have, I think, would it be fucking, so the Nuggets would play the 4-5 winner?
No, Nuggets play
The
Timberwolves
3-6.
or Suns
Okay.
next.
I think we could see possibly Mavericks Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. And the Mavericks are another hot take, hot in the streets type of pick. But I really do think, I mean, Luka's playing out of his ass. He's still not the MVP because that's Jokic. But I think that would be a great matchup with two huge stars. And ultimately, I have the Nuggets going back. I have Nuggets Celtics. Like, let's just get right to it.
Okay.
And at that point, God, I don't trust the Celtics either. Like so I got to pick the Nuggets. Like that's obviously a homer pick, but I do not trust the Celtics to win a championship.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So I'll dumb mine down a little bit since you kind of got into all the matchups. I think it's Nuggets Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. The Clippers Mavericks is going to be a great series. I don't trust the Thunder. The Thunder, I wanted the Lakers to be the 8 seed because I think they could beat the Thunder. Yeah. I don't think the Lakers can beat the Denver Nuggets, but the Lakers could beat the Thunder. I don't think the Kings or the Pelicans can beat the Thunder. So I think the Thunder kind of got a little bit of a pass in the first round, but I don't think they're making it past the Clippers in the second round with all that playoff experience, Kawhi healthy, etc. So Nugs Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, and then I'm going to go Celtics Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
You think the Bucks are going to make a run?
I think the Bucks with Doc Rivers, like, it's a weird whole team, and they got Damian Lillard now. They have Giannis.
They got to get through the Pacers, dude.
I know, but the Pacers are just that. Pacers are like the old Nuggets before we actually got really good, where they've scored like 130 points in like half their games. It's not playoff basketball.
Yeah.
I think once it gets down to the playoffs, slows down. When you have Damian Lillard and Giannis on the same team, I think that's just and I trust the Bucks. The Bucks have won a championship. I do not trust the Celtics, so I honestly think it's Nuggets Bucks in the NBA Finals, and I do think the Nuggets win it again.
That would be fire.
But I do think it's Nuggets Bucks.
Giannis Jokic battling it out. But they wouldn't. Would they even have Giannis on Jokic? Would they match up?
No, I usually Brook Lopez.
I was going to say Lopez. Okay. Also, I feel like, speaking of the NBA, the Warriors are over.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so wild. Like, they literally owned the NBA. They were the poster children. Like, millions of fans were created. Golden State Warriors fans were created by Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and now they're just a sad shell of themselves. Yeah, they scored 92 points last night.
Klay Thompson's. We scored as many points as Klay Thompson.
That's
and
insane.
Made as many shots as Klay Thompson.
I saw so many videos of Klay Thompson getting dragged. Having said that, he would be a great Denver Nugget.
Mm-hmm.
And that's selfish to say, but a 3-and-D type of dude that can just light it up. But we have Julian Strother on a rookie deal. I'm not saying he can be anywhere near Klay Thompson, but for the money we're paying him, because Klay's going to get 30 or 35 somewhere. Like, somebody's going to overpay the shit out of him just for his name. So I wouldn't want that, but it would be a fun, like, he's like MPJ a little bit. But it feels like he just when he gets hot, it's stupid. Like, him and Steph They're Caitlin Clark level. Like they just make it from anywhere.
Yep, 100%. And
Okay,
let's go to NHL.
Yeah.
So NHL is confusing as hell with the matchups. I know the Western Conference because of the Nugget or the Avs being the 3 seed in the Western. So it looks like as of right now, I think there's still.
Let's just sound like complete dipshits and say just 2 teams that we would like to see in the East and the West.
Okay, well, Eastern Conference Finals, if this can happen, I think it's going to be the Boston Bruins and the Carolina Hurricanes.
That would be gas.
And then the Western Conference Finals, I think, is going to be the Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Okay.
I think that's my Eastern and Western. And I think the Stanley Cup Final is going to be Carolina versus Vegas, and I think Carolina gets Vegas. I think Carolina Hurricanes are winning the Stanley Cup.
Wow. Okay. They have added some nice pieces this year to finally hopefully get them over the hump. I've got dude, the Florida Panthers are just so good. I'm going because the Panthers see the Bruins round 1.
No.
Or
Bruins and Maple Leafs play each other.
Oh yeah, the Leafs
but
are
they're
ass.
still. Oh no, they've played all their games. So yeah, that's locked in. It looks like the Panthers will either play the Lightning or the Capitals. Most likely the Capitals, who have a negative 37 goal differential.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's a cakewalk.
Yeah. So I could see Panthers, Hurricanes if that's possible.
Seems like it is.
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. Panthers, Canes. I think the Rangers are going to get bounced because they're just weak as shit. And I think it's going to be Dallas, and I'm going to say Edmonton. Dallas, Edmonton in the conference finals, and I think it's going to be Dallas, and I'm going to go with Dallas Hurricanes in the finals, and I think Dallas wins.
Okay, Dallas, Ottinger, Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I think
it's going to come down to the goalie. That's why I have Winnipeg going so far. Is like, unfortunately, we have them round 1, the Avs. I hope I'm down on the Avs and I'm just wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see them even getting past round 1. But Nathan MacKinnon's going to win the Hart Trophy, and
he just deserves more than what the goalie, what the defense and the goaltending have given him this year.
Yeah, I just hope it's a full reset for them this week, and then going into the series with the Jets, it's like, oh, the Jets. I hope the Jets feel like they don't want to play us. I feel like there's a little bit of you don't want to play the Avs type of scenario.
We're
agree. Not that like winning the President's Trophy, first place in the entire NHL going into the playoffs. We had a fairly down, especially end of the year, and but I feel like we have that they don't want to see MacKinnon skating at them type of feel.
Oh, for sure.
No matter what, I feel like that's just the case.
I honestly just think Edmonton, with like the crazy season that they've had, starting off so shitty and being relatively under the radar, but Connor McDavid's having another all-world year.
100 apples.
100 appies. I think he's the 4th player all-time to do that. So absolutely insane shit. And I think they could just go on a run, get hot. I mean, obviously, it's all goaltending in the playoffs. The Canucks have not been talked about. They haven't been taken very seriously. So that would be another interesting, like, it would be fun to see a Canadian market bust through and make
just
a Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's been since Montreal, like in the COVID Cup.
That's fucking that's insane. And can you believe Montreal made a Stanley Cup as recently as then?
Just have a good goalie. Goalie gets hot.
No shit.
The Rangers are winning. The Rangers won the President's Cup
trophy.
The
President's Cup is a golf tournament.
Yeah, golf is just in my brain.
Wow.
Rangers won the President's Trophy, but that's like a curse.
Oh,
I
100%.
In there.
I think the last 8 or 9 years, the President's Trophy winner has not won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it's insane.
So it's bad news for them.
Well, talking about our picks, we also want to talk about our bets, and we're going to get into our bets at the end of the podcast for the RBC at Harbor Town, which I was just in Hilton Head Island. Kind of wish I would have stayed another week and went to the tourney, but we do all of our betting through Bet365. We were just talking about Bet365 out in the office before the pod, getting our picks together for this weekend. If you use the code ALLCITY at sign up, you get to choose between 2 offers of first bet safety net of $1,000 or betting $5 and getting $150 in bonus bets when you sign up with that code ALLCITY in all caps. We do our betting on the each ways for golf. It makes it super easy. You just put in how much you want to bet. It doubles that, puts it $1 or 1 unit, I should say, on the player winning the tournament, and then also puts another unit on the player placing. We always pick 1 through 12. Ended up paying out great last week for the Masters. I had Tyrrell Hatton, so saved us all of our beans.
Saved our bacon.
Saved our bacon. We ended up the week essentially exactly even.
Love that.
Based on the Tyrrell Hatton sneak into the top 10. So shout out to Tyrrell. But each way bets are super easy for golf, and Bet365 makes it easy for you. So go in there, bet with us. We'll give you our picks at the end of the pod. But RBC, I'm kind of glad there's a signature event right after the Masters. We'll talk a little bit about what other people think about that. But I'm excited because it's not like a complete shitter. And there's another tour event this week. An opposite field event. Tony Finau's not in the field for that one, though. He's actually in the RBC field.
God, you could have cashed him in. We had gotten our second winner of the year, the fucking Puerto Rico Open.
Yeah.
Tony Finau.
Exactly. We'll also want to tell you guys about our great friends over at Coors Light. I've got the Coors hat on. It's a fresh hat.
So sick.
It's not a Coors Light hat, but it's a Coors hat, so close enough.
Coors Banquet hits, too, but obviously you can drink so many more Coors Lights, in my opinion.
Yeah, I had a few Coors Lights last night. I got home and had like a wild hair that I wanted to clean my entire garage. So I started with a margarita and then switched to Coors Light and had
liquor before beer.
Unfortunately, I fell asleep on the couch and with half a Coors Light. So that was an unfortunate scenario for me.
But you did have the lid on it. It probably stayed good for a long time. You probably could have woke up this morning and drank it.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I was more concerned with the other bottle at 4 a.m. versus my Coors Light. But Coors Light, if you need a moment to chill, the most refreshing beer out there is by far Coors Light. It's the best beer to drink on the golf course, watching sports, whatever. If you need a moment to chill, drink Coors Light. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hell yeah.
All right. I'm here to tell you I love Scottie Scheffler.
I just don't trust you.
No,
you can't flip this quickly.
I have.
What did you
Marissa, can we pull up
hit the Bible?
The first page, like our intro picture again? Oh, that's okay. There's the beauty. There's the beauty in his interview.
Are you, because you guys have the same hairline?
Maybe. That could be part of it. But yeah, so as you can see by that gorgeous graphic there, Scottie, after he won his second Masters.
That is dope.
Nikola Jokic behind him. And Scottie Scheffler is golf's Nikola Jokic. We haven't been able to see it because we don't have the same connection to Scottie that we do to Nikola Jokic. But after seeing how Scottie acts, after seeing how Nikola acts, we sit here and say how boring Scottie is for the PGA Tour and his dominance is boring. And it's the exact same thing with all the writers that we get pissed off about, being pissed about Nikola Jokic being so good at basketball when it seems like he, quote unquote, doesn't care. They are the same person playing two different sports, and I've fully come around on Scottie Scheffler and his dominance.
Okay, so I can get behind you saying you don't care, or they don't care, because that is relatively true. It seems they're more family-oriented and more worried about their personal lives than they are about their profession, which I respect. But what I cannot get over is Scottie Scheffler's corniness. Just it feels Russell Wilson-like to me. It's just such a shtick, and he's being real. Like I guess that might be the difference. Is Russell's feels fake, Scottie's feels real. But I don't even know if that makes it better, because if you're that corny and you mean it, I can't take you seriously as a person. Like Scottie Scheffler is probably the dude that is just optimistic about every single thing in life, who's never had a bad thought before, that thinks everything is just going to work out, and it has for him. I mean,
that's the thing, though.
Yeah,
like when he steps on the golf course at an important tournament, it does work out for him.
Did he manifest this shit?
He is manifesting it, and I think
did he speak it into existence?
The only reason that I hate your Russell Wilson comparison, because I'm all in on Scottie now. I'm going to be fully honest. I am. I'm going to cheer for him every week. Imagine if Scottie Scheffler went to Iowa. If Scottie Scheffler went to Iowa, we'd be all about him.
He'd be Vince India.
He'd be just like the Iowa football team, just super vanilla, just wins.
Yeah. I wish he had some endearing Midwest in him because I just don't think anybody from Texas is that like endearing. Maybe it's part of my like I don't hate Texas, but I don't love Texas. It's not I feel like if you're not from Texas, you're not like in love with it like everybody is that lives in Texas. But
Yeah,
if he
you're
was like
from Texas, everybody knows you're from Texas.
yes, if he was like Midwest nice, he actually is from New Jersey originally. But he does not have that kind of like. Can you see him in New Jersey at all?
No, I know. I don't. You live there, so I would imagine you'd have a better idea. But from what I've heard, he doesn't fit in well there.
No, like there's not very many people that act like Scottie Scheffler that I've run into in New Jersey, and there is nice people, but like not. I hate to say it, but I don't think there's any fucking mega churches in New Jersey for Joel Osteen and all the like. They're all in Texas. Let's be real. Part of the reason because they're avoiding state tax, even though churches don't pay tax. I don't want to get down that rabbit hole. But mega like Scottie Scheffler is the perfect Dallas. I think it's called the Woodlands, or no, that's Highland Park. I think Highland Park, or is that where Woodland Park? That's Colorado.
Once again, not a geography.
Well,
pod.
no. So the Woodlands, I know, is like a really nice area. I think in Houston. Fuck off, Marissa. I see you laughing over there. The Highlands, I think, is the really wealthy area of Dallas. Can you look that up? It's where SMU's campus is. It's just northeast of Dallas. I am actually very good at directions, by the way. I don't know exact geographic locations of everything. But then Highland Park is also like the nicest.
It's Highland Park.
It is Highland Park. Okay. Because I think there is also a Highland Park in Kansas City. That's Overland Park.
Yeah, the richest city in Texas is Highland Park.
Okay.
And then it's University Park.
So. Okay, yeah. So SMU campus, I've heard that just all the kids that go there are driving around fucking G-Wagons. They're all stupid loaded, daddy's money type shit. But I could just see Scottie. And didn't the story come out that he still drives like an 05 Yukon?
Yes, and so I want to get into this a little bit. He drives a Denali. A Denali with 190,000 miles on it, white. So funny about this. This is what's hilarious. So
What's so funny about this?
I'm trying to compare Nikola Jokic and Scottie Scheffler.
You talking about like his old horse?
No. So
that could be an old horse.
This is where my point.
His old chariot.
This is where my point gets off the rails.
Oh, okay.
So first of all, Scottie Scheffler and Nikola Jokic are the same person, just in two different clothes, two different sports. But I texted Harrison, our great Nuggets writer here, Harrison Wind, and I was like, "Hey, dude, this is what I'm talking about on the pod today. Like, can you give me some nuggets about Nikola Jokic?" I was like, "This Scottie Scheffler thing is coming out. He drives this old car. Like, what does Jokic drive?" He goes, "He drives a Maybach," and I was like, "Oh, okay,
yeah.
Well, maybe I missed the boat there, but
probably because honestly, like an Escalade would probably fit him better." Like, I wonder if he just has a Maybach because that's the only sedan he can fit into.
Probably. But that definitely hurt I was like, well, that's not going to help.
I was going to say, I could not see Nikola. And also, let's be real, Scottie Scheffler and Nikola Jokic pocketbooks are in different zip codes. For being ultra rich, Scottie's probably made $75 million total. Nikola's going to eclipse $750 million by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So obviously they're still young. They're both, I think they're 16 months apart. Scottie was born in June of 96 and Nikola is February of 95. So they're 16 months apart. They're relatively close, but Nikola's money is on a different level. Like NBA money, only Tiger Woods is touching NBA money. And, Scottie maybe in 15 years, if he stays on this kind of run, will touch that $500 million, $750 million area. But that's the other thing too. Like, have you seen Scottie in a bunch of commercials? So that could be another kind of Jokic comp where they don't really want to spend a lot of time in the limelight outside of their profession. I'm making your argument for you.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what part of my argument is the fact that
you didn't mention it.
I was getting there. If you would let me talk for once on this fucking podcast,
there?
I'm getting there. I'm almost there.
Okay.
But so they don't like to be in the spotlight. We know that. And we saw
I just said that.
From Scottie Scheffler's interview when he's like, I just want to answer your questions and go home. And that's very much how Nikola Jokic was. That's why this fucking shirt that I'm wearing is a thing. Because he said, I don't want, he's like, when they won the championship, he's like, I don't want to stay here. I want to go home, go to Serbia, go to my small town, my horses.
But then he goes, I want to fucking stay on parade.
When he gets drunk, then he wants to fucking stay on parade. And it was one of the greatest comments of all time from a Jokic fan. But if maybe down the line we get Scottie Scheffler and a few Hotels.com commercials with Ted Scott, his caddy, who was videoed with the Masters flag in his bed, shirtless. He's living it up. But
shout out our boy Peyton Hopkins, by the way. I miss that guy. He just dropped us a comment.
I miss Pate. Pate, you're the man.
Pate, you're the fucking goat.
But that's why they're the same person in the fact that they don't want the limelight, and we've called Scottie boring how many times? We don't call Nikola Jokic boring because we love him and we're part of
But he's
the
not
story.
boring.
He is boring. I'm telling you, brother, he's boring.
I would
90% of everyone that is not Nuggets fan says he's boring, he's probably pretty boring.
If we're talking stylistically speaking, like the way they play, then yes, he's boring. His game is boring. And so is Scottie Scheffler's because they're just both very fucking good. But then off the court, I mean, there's a language barrier there. So he's not like, I mean, he's comfortable speaking English, but look at his interviews on TNT. They're must watch every time. He's taking shots at Shaq. He fucking rides in chariots behind horses. He's an I don't think people in America realize how interesting of a dude he is. But then you see videos of him partying over in Serbia. Like, that is where the separation is, where I think Jokic wants to keep it low key about like his personal life. Scottie just legitimately like goes home with no cameras on him, is the exact same fucking snooze fest. Like, I don't want to go here, but can you imagine Scottie Scheffler having sex?
Oh God.
That's probably got to be the most boring thing in the entire world. Like, that is one position, 5 minutes, it's over.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get too much into that. But I will give Scottie a little shout out because he said in his interview, he's like, I'm going to go home, soak in this victory tonight. Soak in this victory might be a little, who knows? He already,
might be a little Salt Lake City.
He already did the job. But he wanted to go home
Congrats
to his wife.
on the sex.
And then he was, took some pictures with some lucky people at Inwood Tavern.
That was
Dallas.
pretty, I did like that.
Right there is what kind of cemented me. The best part is the motherfucker's still in his Masters shirt, changed his hat, and wears his green jacket to his local dive bar.
Yeah, that is pretty
after
fire.
winning the Masters. Now, I can't imagine Meredith was very happy about this, but this is one of the, like, seeing those pictures is like, okay, yes, this guy's boring. And yes, he seems very boring. But remember, Nikola Jokic, it took him a while to get out of his shell. Maybe Scottie's not quite out of the shell yet, but if he keeps dominating like this and then shows a little bit of emotion here and there, a little bit of quirkiness, I don't think he's the boring guy that everybody says he is. I may be wrong.
I think we've come to a bit of an impasse because I feel like I've made some good points against your argument and you've made some good points to make your argument. So I ultimately don't. I think Nikola Jokic is definitely a more fun person in general.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine him rolling around Serbia with his boys? He's probably a fucking riot. Like, I want to party with Nikola Jokic. I do not want to party with Scottie Scheffler. He's the dude. He probably showed up to Inwood Tavern, probably bought everybody around, whatever. But
probably had multiple Coors Lights at least.
I was gonna say he's probably a one Coors Light type of dude. And then they ask him if he should have another. He's like, I don't know. Should I have one more? 2 beers? That's a lot. Like, he's that kind of dude.
I'm not getting in the Tahoe after this.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I don't wish this upon anybody. But if a video of Scottie Scheffler of him getting pulled over drinking, I would immediately make the dude more relatable to the general public.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
Some sort of
DUIs are super relatable.
I need a Scottie Scheffler scandal at this point. I want to like the guy. Like, there's nothing that tells me I shouldn't, but it's just so fucking boring and white as like blah, just bland. Everything is bland. So let's pull up this graphic of the quote he said.
It's actually a video. Let's watch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because this doesn't help my point, but we'll end this conversation on this. So this is Scottie, but I will say this video helps my point and also hurts my point. Let's get into it, play it, and I want you to see where you think it helps what I'm saying, and then where it hurts. Obviously, we know where it hurts because of the quote.
Sitting around with my buddies this morning, I was a bit overwhelmed because I told them, I was like, I wish that I didn't want to win as badly as I did, or as badly as I do. I think it would make the mornings easier, but I love winning. I hate losing. I really do. And when you're here in the biggest moments, when I'm sitting there with the lead on Sunday, I really, really want to win badly. And my buddies told me this morning, my victory was secure on the cross, and that's a pretty special feeling. To know that I'm secure for forever, and it doesn't matter, whether or not I win this tournament or if I lose this tournament. My identity is secure for forever.
James.
Sitting around with my buddies this morning, I was a bit over.
So the second half,
I feel bad for talking shit about the guy. He's like choking up, talking about texting his buddies saying his Masters victory is secure on the cross. That's bananas to me. That just is outside of my own mind.
I don't want to get too much into that.
Like, do you think his buddies in the group chat, they just sit around and they name like the 13 disciples?
There's definitely a cross in the middle picture of that group chat.
Like the the Bible group.
Yeah.
Like it's probably his church buddies.
Okay, but let's stop shitting on that. The one thing I do want to talk about though from that is it's cool to hear when he says like how much he really wants to win, because I feel like that's what got lost on Nikola Jokic for a while. And that's what gets lost on players like this that are quote unquote boring, is it's like, oh, they don't really care. And then Nikola has said multiple times, like, all I want to do is win. And that's how he plays, is he plays the game of basketball to win. He doesn't hit the most flashy, I'm relating it to golf. He wouldn't hit the most flashy drives. He just makes the right plays to win games.
Yeah.
And Scottie Scheffler doesn't always hit the greatest shots, but he makes the right, on the back nine at Augusta on Sunday, he just made the right shots to dominate and win. And you're just like, how does this guy keep fucking doing this? And that's where I relate him to Nikola Jokic too, because when you go outright and say something like that, like he's pretty, whether or not his interviews are boring and overly religious is a topic for a different podcast that we're not going to get into. But the idea that he doesn't really care and all he cares about is his life outside of golf, that's not the case at all. And that's how I feel about Nikola Jokic. They all say all he cares about is his horses. He wants to leave. He wants to not play basketball. And then it's like, no, when you hear from his teammates, just little tidbits here and there, he's the most focused, driven guy. And I think that's where they really are related in their greatness.
Yeah, I think it ends with their performance in their specific sports. I think that's where the comp ends.
No, because I would never, if Tiger Woods was in his prime right now and winning an MVP every 3 seasons, I'm going back and forth here, switching back and forth between sports, but we wouldn't be comparing Nikola Jokic to Tiger Woods. We wouldn't. It's totally separate things. They act a lot of ways the same or off of the golf course / basketball court. So that's my comparison. I'm all in on Scottie now. Shout out to Greg Gomez if he's listening. What are the odds there is a Bible study early Sunday morning? Probably pretty good.
He probably had that. He's probably got like an old school briefcase that he rolls like to tournaments with, or like a Leviathan like fucking over the shoulder like arm bag, and he's got his Bible. He's got snacks. He's probably got a cute note from his wife, like with the Bible verse on the bottom of it.
He's so wholesome.
He is so wholesome. I just can't relate.
I can't relate.
I'm too big of a piece of shit to relate to what Scottie Scheffler is as a human being.
Yeah, there's nothing more to say about that.
Yeah, well, we can just leave it there.
Let's flip to the rest of Masters wrap up and get into Neil Shipley a little bit.
Yeah, Neil Shipley. So there was a clip that came out of him on Pat McAfee. Did I send that to you, Marissa? Can we play that one? Oh, so this clip, yes, this was him. No, well, I'll just talk about the Pat McAfee clip, but this was him. Let's play this. He was showing back up at Ohio State, and these are all of his teammates. That is so sick. Like, can you imagine? It was similar to like Nick Dunlap with the Alabama team, but at the same time, I think this Neil Shipley kid is even more endearing because he played. So he's a grad student at Ohio State, played 4 years at James Madison, relative unknown, not a big powerhouse, takes a grad year at Ohio State, and finishes runner-up at the USAM. I guess I talked about it on Sunday, but he was really well liked by all the staff at the USAM at Cherry Hills last year, and then is the only amateur to make the cut at the Masters. He's I think he's a Pittsburgh kid, so he's a Yinzer, and he just looks like he should have a Ben Roethlisberger jersey on. Like, he looks built to wear a Pittsburgh Steelers fucking jersey. So then we were talking about it on Sunday. He kept looking over at we didn't know what he was looking at.
I sent Marissa the clip just now.
Oh, okay.
So if we can get this clip up, but basically, yeah, just talking about, you can go.
Yeah. Basically just, they were talking about where he was looking. So can we get the volume here?
Let's talk about TV. You were on TV a lot.
Yeah.
Neil, you know what I'm... Yeah. Yeah, you got good range. You got good periph. You got good periph. I think somebody I think somebody should have told you, hey, you don't have to look at the live playback. You are on TV. But in that moment, when you're sitting in that clubhouse, what's going through your head? And then immediately afterwards, when one of the lads says, hey, yeah, you're looking sideways is everywhere. Right? Can you take us through that entire process there?
Oh my God, I was so nervous. The last thing I wanted to do was swear on national TV or say something stupid. And I also didn't want to speak out of turn, so I was trying to look at the teleprompter that's going on, so I knew my cues. Dumbass. And so I finish up all the presentations, and we go back to our party house. I've had a few icy lights, and then all of a sudden, I have, my family's like, hey, Neil, have you seen these memes of you? I'm like, what memes? What are you talking about? And then they start just absolutely roasting me for the next 3 hours about it. It was something else.
The internet was alive with you. I didn't think it was a teleprompter. That makes sense, though. All right, I don't want to step on Jim Nance here, Hall of Famer. Got John Rahm over here. Yep. Scottie Scheffler's right here. The chairman of Augusta National. Lot of power.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lot of power. He's right here. They told me to sit here and speak when spoken to. I'm going to get a little bit of a heads up here. I was on TV that whole time? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I thought you handled it great, dude. Your first time in there. I think you were an absolute legend all weekend. Let's not let the memes ruin it. Let's let the memes add to it. What a legendary thing, especially 100%. 10 years from now, when Neil Shipley is the one sitting in the middle chair.
Hell yeah.
Whenever he's sitting in the middle chair on that left side, when he's taking home a green jacket.
So this dude, I legitimately think I want to follow him now. I want to watch his golf career, hopefully ascend to the PGA Tour, because he's talking about drinking a couple icy lights, fucking just saying he looked like a complete dumbass. That is the ultimate, going on Pat McAfee. Why doesn't Scottie Scheffler want to go on Pat McAfee?
I don't think they ask him.
Because they don't want a boring fucking 10-minute interview with the guy. But no, I really like this dude. And there's actually a quote. He was asked why he plays so fast. And he said, so he's got 3 degrees, apparently, low-key brag. 3 more than me. I have a degree in quantitative finance, minors in math and economics, and a master's in data analytics. I have to play fast so I don't overthink it.
So the thing I love about people that look like him is when they have those.
What are you saying he looks like?
Not a guy that has a master's in data analytics.
I dropped
that's
his
for sure. Uh-oh. Oh, you're just getting up on the live. All right. Oh, it's a freshie. You're still, you can't let that.
No,
be.
man, no Zin left behind.
No, but he just doesn't look like a guy that has 3 degrees. He just flat out.
Well, it sounds like he has 2. He has a minor in economics and data analytics.
Well, semantics here.
Yeah.
But still, he doesn't look like that. And then he goes out. And McAfee spoke to it. The memes and doing that has blown him up 10 times as much as if he just sat there, answered the questions correctly. He was already getting love from us, from everyone, playing with Tiger Woods. And, then the story came out about his caddy was just his high school buddy that he asked if he surprised with caddying for him at Augusta National. And then he does that. And you have to laugh about that kind of stuff because
100%.
His name, his NIL deals this week rolling in. If he's still when he's still at Ohio State, have to be insane.
Oh, absolutely. And they're probably just going into the spring season right now. And so it'll be interesting. I want to see what he shoots at these last few tournaments going into spring season or whatever. Because do you think your game would actually get better having played in the Masters? Like so much less. You're going to play like some intercollegiate bullshit, and you were just at Augusta like 2 weeks ago. Do you feel like you would
Just walk out to every place? This is a fucking goat ranch. Like
this place, what kind of fucking dump is this place?
I can't believe I have to do this.
Yeah. He's like, where's my caddy? Where's
on a smaller, I mean, Nick Dunlap was in the field at Augusta, but same kind of scenario. He's at the American Express in California, and then he goes and plays some I mean, the college kids don't play munis, but
he turned pro like the week after. So
that's what I'm saying. He didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
He was like, he probably went and played one tournament and was like, fuck this.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
out.
he played a practice round at fucking Podunk Country Club in like Louisiana, and he's like, I gotta get the fuck out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm taking the deal.
Yeah.
Deal or no deal.
Can we talk about Jason Day's sweater?
Yes, let's talk about Jason Day's entire fit.
Yeah.
Because people were shocked when they saw it on him, but if you're in the golf Twitter, the Golf X community,
It's
Malbon put out his whole outfits for the week, his run. And we knew that was going to happen. And then it ended up getting, I heard he looked like a carton of cigarettes. That was one of my favorite comments.
That was a sick, like old school sweater. But then it comes out that it costs like $330.
You guys have a photo?
Yes. I
drop her that photo so we can show the good people. If you haven't seen this, you're living under a rock because it was all over TV.
And if you're not on the YouTube and want to see it now, hop on the YouTube with us, and make sure you're listening to the pod audio wise, but also in the YouTube, because YouTube is where it's at.
So I will say this
picture.
I will say this about Malbon Golf. Like, I like a lot of stuff that they do, but I really feel like, are we familiar in this room with who Bobby Altoff is?
No.
The industry plant podcaster girl that all of a sudden interviewed Drake and then got all these big interviews. Okay, yes. So I was like, of all people, come on. She's all over the internet now. She's had this arc of whatever. Now people hate her, then they love her, whatever. But I genuinely feel like Malbon is borderline like an industry plant. Like, they just did a deal with Jimmy Choo where they're releasing like Jimmy Choo golf bags for thousands of dollars. Their shit is so like overpriced, and there's nothing like catchy about it, in my opinion. There's nothing, it's Malbon. It's the dude's last name who started the company. So it's basically like designer for golf. And I think that it's just, I mean, people do like to be extra on the golf course, pay $150, $200 for a fucking polo, but that's just not like it. It doesn't feel like, it feels like they've had this meteoric rise out of nowhere. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. And it feels like they have the old school look where it'd be like a cheap brand, which is coming back in all phases.
They just take Kohl's shit, throw their logo on it, and all of a sudden it's a $200 polo.
Correct. But I think the thing that's different about Malbon is I've actually seen it a ton on your everyday golfer. And we looked at the Malbon website, maybe getting some Malbon clothes or not. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. But their hats are dope.
There's that sweater. That is a dope sweater. But first of all, how many dudes are actually wearing a sleeveless sweater on the golf course?
Now, a shitload.
You think so?
And I honestly think for Malbon and their name, if you can afford it, I think same as in the Neil Shipley camp, Augusta asking him to take it off and not wear it,
makes it that much better.
Makes it that much better and makes it that much more attainable. You always want what you can't have.
Yeah.
I have a 9-month-old son, you know this. He has a basket of toys. His own toys, can take him whenever he wants. All he wants to do is play in the dog's water bowl or play with the dog's toys. And it's just human nature that you want what you can't have, or you want what you quote unquote shouldn't have in this instance. But like,
maybe was Augusta asking him to take it off. Was that a play by Malbon? Was that an inside job?
Your reverse psychology is coming back, and it's mentally fucking me up.
But you get what I'm saying. Malbon is like, we're gonna make the flashiest thing. You guys tell him to take it off. That shit's gonna pop all over the internet. Because imagine the kind of pub that thing got. Like, dudes wear sweater. Like, if that was a Callaway or TaylorMade sweater, do you think it would have popped?
Probably not.
You think the Masters would ask him to take it off? Because a lot of people were saying that on the internet. But it being a relatively unknown brand to the entire golf world. It's obviously popular within, you know, certain areas of the internet, but I honestly think that could have been inside work. They make or maybe they didn't even ask the Masters to ask him to take it off, but they said, let's make the gaudiest thing we can make and put it on Jason Day and force the Masters to say something about it.
Yeah,
that's big brain shit.
I can't necessarily say that I disagree with you, but I will personally say I love the old school, you know, the old school looking stuff, like some of the hats I've got. Like I've got a bunch of our dad's old hats and I love them and I love the look. I don't even if this was just a t-shirt or like a polo, not a vest. I'm not a big vest guy. I do have a couple. I don't like this. Like I wouldn't wear this, whether it's cool or not. I personally don't like it.
I would honestly say, I don't know if this sounds bad and I'm not like encouraging cigarettes. If it said Marlboro on the front, I would wear it. Like if that was a t-shirt with a Marlboro logo, I would wear that shit. That's fucking fire. Who doesn't like a couple of drunk ciggies now and then? But yeah, the whole Malbon thing is just, it's a little bit odd how they've just overtaken the industry and now they're doing huge collaborations with these massive, you know, designer brands and shit like that. It's just almost, and I guess there is a spot for it within the golf world. But at the same time, I'm not golf shaming here, but how many dudes have you seen that are dressed to the nines, like that would wear this sweater and then they go out and shoot like 95? And
most of them.
Do you think there's any correlation, or it should matter what how good a person is versus what they wear?
I think it's just like the real world, and we saw it at the golf course, so it kind of relates in this way. The dudes that dress the most plain, normal, drive the most normal cars, they have the most money.
Yeah.
And the people that wear this shit he's signed by them. Like, he didn't really have a choice, but they're the ones that are going out and firing 100%. 100%.
And they probably got that shit financed. They're making like 6 payments of $55 to buy that fucking sweater vest.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. But Malbon, that's the thing, is they're not only like they're designer and they're kind of in that, but like I said, at Waste Management when we were out there, I saw so many Malbon hats and just t-shirts. So there's that.
But that was because they did a collab with Waste Management.
Right, but that's the groove where like people are like, okay, I can afford this, so I want this. And so I think it's a staying brand in the golf business, but like I don't think what they showed is a lot of what your everyday golfer can just buy.
And you know what else is absolutely insane, but it actually is very true, is the more expensive something is psychologically, people want that more. Like if that sweater, I bet that sweater, if it was $120, they probably would have sold the same amount or less. But it's an exclusivity thing. Like, and it's just so funny because it touches everyday life. You look at a house, like drive into the studio here. We drive by a lot of really nice houses. 10 years ago, a house was probably $600,000. You look at a house and you're like, oh, that's $600,000. Whatever. It's probably worth $1.2 million now. You look at that and you're like, holy shit, that's a $1.2 million house. Like, that's fucking dope. So it's more like a psychological thing about what you're paying for it and what that provides value-wise to you.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, this fucking $330 sweater does nothing performance-wise for anybody. It's clearly aesthetic look type of thing. But do you understand what I'm saying?
100%. And I bought a $400 Givenchy shirt like 5 years ago just because I could and I wanted it, and it sits in my closet. I've worn it like 4 or 5 times. I did get a little too fat for it, but I might bust it back out. I want
to see a busted can of biscuits out of the designer t-shirt.
But yeah, it's literally when I got it in the mail, it was a Hanes. It's not actually Hanes, but
it's a t-shirt.
It's a t-shirt.
It's a fucking t-shirt.
And the logo is like ripped off of it. Not ripped off, but it's like that's the design. Is like the logo almost looks like it's cracking.
Peeling, yeah.
And that's for $400. I could have bought 10 shirts for that.
You could have bought 100 shirts for that.
Yeah, but it just goes to show, like, I think Malbon's going to blow up now in terms of the people that not necessarily really caring about the golf, but more how they look on the golf course. And that sweater is gonna pop. One thing I want to get to real quick before we're doing a fairwayer 4 today and a mulligan of the week. But before we get to that, did you see the lady, the reporter, who won the media
Yes.
thing? So, in case you guys don't know, at Augusta every single year, there's a few people in the media that get in a drawing. It's a lottery to play Augusta National on Monday, the day after the Masters. Got to be the most insane place to play after those conditions, right after the greatest tournament in the world. And this journalist, her name's Julia Westerman. She's a South Carolina sports journalist, sports reporter. She won the media lottery and played her first round of golf ever at Augusta National. Where do you go from there?
You just never play golf again. Like, can you imagine any group behind her? She's like learning how to play golf at Augusta National. That is what dreams are made of. And that has everybody in the golf world so salty. Like, oh, this shouldn't be allowed. And I think that's what makes it great, is she probably doesn't give a shit. Like, she's like, oh, cool, I get to go play Augusta. Like, it means nothing to her. It's like when people, we've seen videos on the internet of like kids or whatever playing their first round of golf and they make a hole in one. And it just gets people so fired up because
Me. That fires me up.
Well, join the club, buddy. I mean the hole in one club, by the way. But it just, there's nowhere to go from there. But people just get such in their feels about it that I absolutely love it. I think she's a local newscaster from Wisconsin.
No, she's from South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I heard Wisconsin somewhere. Must have been fake news.
Big news coming in, just trying to plant stuff for you.
Yeah, big media planting shit.
But yeah, her first ever round of golf at Augusta National, insane. Oh, she is a reporter, a WIS 10 reporter, so must be a Wisconsin reporter. But she's from South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So shout out to Julia Westerman. That's an incredible round of golf. I hope it gives her you think it's going to give her the bug?
Maybe.
Like the golf
But then
bug?
imagine her showing up to even anywhere else in the world and being like, this isn't, like, I hope she fully understands how nice Augusta is when she shows up.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, if just by going there and covering the tournament media-wise, that she kind of got a feel for that and then wins the lottery. I mean, that's... I don't know what she shot or if she even finished half the holes, but I can imagine that would have been a disaster. Her putting, she probably 6-putted.
Oh,
any green
more
that
than
she was
that,
actually
probably
on.
10 or 12 putted.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick. Sorry. There's another graphic about like just, social media throwing out hypotheticals to create conversation in their comment section. Somebody asked, or one of the posts was, could you win at Augusta if you started on the green?
And
my answer is 1000% yes. I would fucking own that shit.
I honestly don't know.
Give me a caddy that can give me reads. If I'm by myself, the first round, maybe different deal. But give me a caddy to give me reads. It would take a pretty bad golfer. Like, you're 3-putting on a par 4 and making birdie. Think about that.
Yeah, I just think that
you're
green,
4-putting and making par.
I'm not very. You've played enough golf with me, more than anyone in the world, probably. I'm not very confident in my short game abilities, so I'm not willing to say 1,000%. I believe I could.
I think
the competitor in me thinks that I could, but realistically, I might be putting it off the green in some of those and into the water. It's that quick everywhere around there.
I would venture to say I would shoot like 50 under par in 72 holes if I started on the green.
Damn, okay.
That's not that crazy, bro.
I don't think it's that crazy.
You 3-putt a par 5, that's an eagle.
Yeah, dude. There's
you
more
hit it
that
within 10, 15 feet, you lag it up there, you tap it in. That's a birdie on a par 4.
Yeah, that's true. But the greens, I think the greens are harder than even we can fathom from what we've played.
Yeah, I mean, I've played Highwan Country Club. Phil Mickelson said those are the second hardest greens he's ever played behind Augusta National.
Okay, that's a fair point. I don't disagree with you, and like I said, the competitor in me thinks I can.
I think it's just an aura type of thing. Like it's a legend that just grows like with a game of telephone. The more people talk about the greens at Augusta, the harder they get, to the point where they're just impossible. You know what I'm saying?
That is a fair point.
Yeah.
All right,
I got lots of fair points.
Let's wrap this pod up. We'll start off with our fairway or 4.
Okay.
Do you have a fairway or 4?
I do. Because it is once again golf tan season. So my golf tan is look at Spencer's fucking woo. You can see his scalp.
Well,
My forehead
I
is
cut my own hair today. So
oh, nice. My forehead is not that bad. The worst parts of my body, well, fucking just the whole general thing. But if we're talking tan wise, it's the upper arm. So I took your dog out to the park today. It was throwing the ball with him, and I pulled my sleeves up, and I just have the ugliest fucking upper arm area. That's like, I'm getting older, and they're kind of getting hairy now. I'm like, fuck. And like blemishes and shit. I'm just such an imperfect human being. Hate all my imperfections. But I was trying to get him a little bit. I was just introducing them to the sun, like handshake, my arms, the sun, and it just didn't work. So, long story short, fairway or 4, golf tan. A golf tan is the worst type of farmer's tan.
Oh, fairway.
Okay,
Because
I do have pushback. I immediately after I said it, I thought of one. But I'll let you finish. I'll go ahead and let you finish.
When we used to work at the course, I've never seen the whitest feet in my life. And right in contrast,
The
with
feet
like a
are the
super
worst.
tan calf.
I will say though, I think fucking sandal tans are worse. I would almost have my feet be completely white than like strips of tan going across my feet. Like I have those Jesus sandals on, but I don't have any shoes on.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not a big feet sandal guy, so I don't dabble it too much.
Bro,
into
you've
that.
been wearing the Jesus 7s.
Well,
now for
yeah,
the
my
last
Jesus
Supper
7s are
7s.
fire around the house for sure. But I don't go. I typically don't go into.
You got the
public.
weirdest looking feet too.
My feet are pretty fucking normal.
No, dude, because our feet look pretty close, and my feet are weird as fuck too. Although I do, you have like more sleek, longer feet. I have like just bricks for feet.
Yeah, just 2 bricks. But I do think the golf tan is the worst.
Marissa, what do you think?
I actually think soccer tans are worse.
Like higher up on the arm?
No, because you have like
The
only
thigh?
this much showing, so you have your
Oh.
knees that are
Oh,
tan, and then the
yes.
arm, the sleeve goes to about here, so then it's just
Okay.
your forearm. So all through high school, I looked like I just had a tan here, and then right
Yeah,
there.
I would say the
But
tan knee is a little
The
awkward.
forehead. If you don't have to wear a hat, so at least your face is all the same color. I'm hitting my own fucking mic here. At least your face is all the same color. Like I take my shit off in the middle, and it's already kind of there.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Like
red. I look like Neapolitan ice cream.
I sat outside for one day in Hilton Head Island. My arms look like a fucking snake. They're peeling.
Yeah,
And then my head I looked
soft.
I don't not wear a hat very often. You can see why. You give me
Don't
enough shit
blame
about
you.
it. But we had to go to a wedding that night. And so I get out of the shower and I look at myself and I'm like, oh fuck. And it's just red and white. Not
By the
good.
way, you put your hair in a bun because Kylie sent me a Snapchat. I've never wanted to fight you more. I've never not wanted to fight you less. Like when I see your hair in a bun, it fucking triggers me. It's good on your part because it gets to me so much. And like, I'm not going to rip your bun apart because it falls apart on its own. Like with
I appreciate that.
you got to fucking use a fishing line to tie that fucking those
Okay.
10 hairs back there.
We're done here.
But,
Real
just
quick,
the bun fucking
All right.
sends me.
my fairway or 4. So obviously I'm married. You have a girlfriend. You're married. I left my toothbrush in Charleston and we went to Hilton Head. And Kylie said, you can just use mine. And
That's
I said,
psycho
absolutely
behavior.
fucking not. I was like, we're married. I don't give a shit. So it sounds like we're all in unison here. I will never use someone else's toothbrush.
That's a great fairway or 4
I
because
would-
that is stepping over a line. Like,
yeah.
I don't care if I've been married to you for 50 years. No chance, fucking chicken dick's chance in hell. I am using somebody else's toothbrush.
You were literally brushing like crap off your teeth, and then you're gonna go share it with someone else.
Yeah,
like,
no.
absolutely fucking
unless you
not.
take that shit to a car wash and fucking power wash that fucking thing.
Okay. So I'm not crazy.
No.
Ugh.
Complete fairway.
No, that's you got to draw the line somewhere.
Cool. I love
That's
that.
like sharing underwear. That'd be like you throwing on one of Kylie's pairs of underwear.
I mean, I can't confirm or deny that. I've never done that.
Jesus.
Okay, let's switch
Mulligan of
back
the
and
week.
forth. Mulligan of the week. I'll start with mine. Oh God, I've got so many mulligans of the week that I just have cornholed in here. I will say. So this one, we bought. I bought mulch because I've got someone coming over to do my backyard. And
that's a mulligan of the week. I helped you fucking unload it, and I was sore for 2 days. I felt like the biggest pussy in the world.
yeah, so we're unloading this mulch, putting it in the backyard, and I fucking fell down my back steps with mulch on my shoulders. And
this psycho fucking, what were you carrying? 4 bags?
I carried 3.
Those things are probably
I'm a minimal trip guy.
But
every
those things
time.
are probably 30, 40 pounds a piece. Like, they're not light. You were balancing. And the best part was, so I'm standing behind his truck, and I have a clear visual to the gate. And I just hear, oh, and Spencer disappears, and then his head just pops up. Like, all I can see is his head above the fucking 2 steps.
I was like, I fell.
I sound like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
fell.
Well, no, Kylie's like, you okay? You're like, I fell. Like, you had to fucking announce it. I was pissing myself.
But yeah, it didn't feel good. I forgot there was 2 steps, not just 1. So.
Yeah, missing a step is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
My mulligan of the week is I listed things on Facebook Marketplace. And so
Dude, seeing those pictures of those being your
Dude,
Facebook
fuck
friend with your
you.
fucking
Like,
hand in it, shit. just
yeah, I
cracks me
know,
up.
I know. It's not good. It's I did not want to. I texted like all my buddies. I was like, I'll sell them to you for less than they're worth. Like, I just don't want to fucking deal with Facebook Marketplace. But there's literally no point in me hanging onto these golf clubs for no reason.
Have you gotten some bites?
Well, so I did get a bite. And this dude asked for my phone number. I give it to him. Fucking mistake. He starts asking me about where I play and what my handicap is.
Oh yeah.
And so he is reaching out to me for a friend, quote unquote. So that feels a little sketchy to me.
Yeah.
And then his friend, he puts us in a group chat. His friend doesn't even reply. So it's just me and him, and I think some phantom phone number. And he goes, and then finally his buddy hasn't replied. He goes, you can just reply individually. It seems like he's not very talkative today. I'm like, what the? Are you just trying to make a golf friend through a Facebook Marketplace? They are. See, and I don't know. If it turns out to be real, I'll change my tune. These guys are members at Flying Horse.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I do want to make a golf
They're just
buddy.
weird.
Yeah, they're just fucking weirdos. Like, not. I don't know. It's just when you initially meet somebody, like eventually, I texted them again today because this was like 2 days ago. He's like, just text me individually. So like, I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I need
to keep this group, this phantom, I
need to loop in your fucking
your
burner.
imaginary friend.
Yes. I was like, so I texted the group again today. I was like, do you guys want to meet? And finally this other guy did text back.
Oh, nice.
He goes, he's got a bit of a fever. And so,
he can't text for 3 days.
Yeah. I was like, dude, so I don't know what's going to come of this. And the dude automatically, so I have my irons listed for $750 online.
Yeah.
The dude in the group, the first thing he says is, and I mentioned nothing about price to this other guy. He said he was willing to come down to 700 from 750. Like he just literally texted his buddy that and assumed that I was already coming down. And I was like, and I didn't want to, and it's just, I don't want to fucking ruin it. So I was like, I was planning on possibly coming down a hair if they really want to fuck, because I just want to get rid of him. But just to have the fucking audacity to be like, he's already coming down $50. Like, who the fuck are you, dude?
Yeah, that's
I should have
insane.
blocked both of their numbers right there, but it's the only bite I've gotten. So I might be meeting these dudes at some point next week. That'll be on the podcast for sure. But yeah, Facebook Marketplace is not a place I want to be a fucking part of. So that is just not for me.
Not for you. All right, Marissa, you're mulligan of the week.
I'm so ready.
Oh, all right. Let's hear it. Strap
What
in.
did Dune do?
Whoa, nothing.
Okay.
Bitch. So
I'm the bitch, your dog is the bitch.
No, you are.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway, so I have really bad ADHD. Spencer probably sees it more than you.
Do you have
see it.
Adderall?
I don't use Adderall. I try to do the more natural method of
Fucking
like
boo.
working out and stuff.
Oh.
Christian also has ADHD, and he is on Adderall.
Okay.
So you should see our fights. We forget like within 10 seconds, like what we're
You guys
fighting
are like
about.
two fucking
Two fucking
Dories going at
goldfish
it.
in a fucking bowl together.
Yeah.
You just swim back. You're like, oh, this is great.
Hey,
Oh,
yes.
we're married. Hey, go.
Yeah,
It's
we're-
probably a key to a nice, lasting marriage.
It is, but like sometimes our conversations are really serious, and then we end up somewhere else. And anyway,
Holy shit, that would be hilarious to get a visual on.
so when I get really, really, really stressed, or I'm going through a really stressful time, it tends to like magnify my ADHD because I'm so like
All over
stressed.
the
Like
place?
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to like do things, so I forget things. So like I've forgotten my keys in the refrigerator before, or I've done like those kind of things. But one of the things that I do is like I forget to put our garage door down all the time.
Oh, no shit.
Samesies.
Yeah,
I
it's
do- I
horrible.
fucking drive away. I'll be gone for like 2 hours. Garage door open.
And
Sorry,
we
go
have
on.
like really expensive stuff in there sometimes. And I've cleaned our garage like 50 times. This week I need to go back and clean it. I'm really excited about it. But I always forget, and Christian gets mad at me because he's like, you can't just leave it open. Like we live in like a golf course. There's, different types of animals. And I'm like, whatever, I don't give a shit. So the other day I totally forgot to put it down. And he got mad at me, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm really annoyed of you telling me, like, I'm super stressed. Like, nothing ever is gonna happen. So today, I went to go feed our dogs, and we have these big old bags of dog food. So I'm not afraid of things, but I went and picked the bag up, and a mouse ran up my legs.
Oh, my
I would have fucking
And-
physically exploded.
Yeah, and I'm
I
like,
hate mice.
I'm not afraid of mice. Like, I've like seen them. I live like in Alamosa, they're everywhere. So like it's
Yeah.
not like a big deal to me. But the fact that this thing like ran up me, I panicked.
Oh, my God.
I threw the bag down, and this bag's like the big old one, so they're like 50 pounds. I flew that out. My stupid dog that is such a fatty, and all she's concerned about is the food,
Just starts
doesn't
wolfing it.
even see the mouse, and I'm like doing this. I hit my hand on the grill, gave myself a blood blister, and I flipped over our Christmas tree. So, and I like panicked because I didn't want the mouse to continue running up like my body. That thing flung because I hit it and it went somewhere.
Oh,
Feels like a
I might
stepping
get
on
the
a
chill-
rake situation.
I'm getting the chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I hate mice. I'm terrified.
See,
of
I don't
mice.
mind mice. I don't mind snakes. But just the alarming, like if it is on me, I don't like that.
Yeah, like I've picked up snakes before and tossed them, like if they're in my way or
But
something.
oh my God, so Christian has the ultimate trump card now. He's like, you gonna let?
Which is like the worst thing because I text him and I was like, you can't open the because I don't know where it went, and so I need to put traps in there now, and it's like terrifying to me.
Well, hopefully it runs out, or it runs into your house.
Well, that's why I said you cannot open the garage door, and he's like, well, why? And I'm like, because there's a mouse in there. He goes, oh, so like an animal, like I told you, and I'm like, yes,
Bazinga.
yes, and he's like, well, you have fun catching it.
Oh,
So
Well, I will say I'll give you a little bit of credit. The mice could get in no matter if your garage door's open. Or
Yeah.
not. Like that's
Yeah.
not I'm not saying
I was
it's not
thinking
your
if it was
fault,
like a
but-
possum, that's
yeah,
100%.
yeah, like a
on you.
raccoon probably because the garage door's open.
I thought
but-
you were gonna say there was like a raccoon or a possum or something in the bag of dog food, which would have been you would have shit your pants.
this is a dumb question, but do we have possums?
I think
In
possums
Colorado?
are like everywhere. Or is that just a southern thing?
No, I think we have possums.
Yeah, I think there's possums.
Huh.
I just don't think we see possums very often because they're nocturnal.
Interesting.
Now
I know
it
we have
sounds
raccoons.
smart.
Raccoons we have at the golf course.
Raccoons
and
are-
those guys.
They used to be
I hate raccoons.
one of the
so much.
funniest stories ever at our old golf course, which will be unnamed. We used to have hundreds of raccoons, and they would live. So there was a huge drain right behind the dumpsters. So they lived in the drain. We would throw all the trash in at night. They would just come up and have a fucking feast. It was like a golden corral in that bitch for them. Like just absolutely getting down. And so there was like measures taken. Some people wanted to try to take them out. Then there was people against that saying it was inhumane. You should relocate them, yada, yada, yada. Well, so the garbage man shows up one morning and he like comes down into the pro shop and we have a big like 120 person golf tournament. And so there's all these people like milling around the fucking parking lot. And he goes, dude, there's like 30 raccoons in the garbage bin. And I'm like, fucking take them, dude. I was like, just dump it. Like, what? He's like, I don't have time for this. I'm like, don't take time for any of it. Like, just take them. So the big thing fucking flips up. There was like a dozen of them on the roof of the truck, and they're fucking freaking out. Like there was multiple that went fucking
Just
just jumped off the side.
But
and
we're
they're-
watching the truck. I just remember so vividly. Drive away, and there's like 30 raccoons on the top of the trash truck, and we're like, "See ya, bye."
It was the fucking. And then there's raccoons fucking freaking out in the parking lot, and all
Yeah.
these people are running around. It was just
They make the most heinous sounds. I used to like get there in the dark at like 4:35 in the morning, and it's just like, I'm like, I fucking no, nope, I'm not going. I'd like get out of my car and fucking scurry down to the pro shop. I was like, I'm not being around any of that
dude.
shit.
And they got raccoons don't fuck around. Like they're bold. I remember we actually had a raccoon inside. Do you remember when Andrea opened the
Oh
fucking?
my god, yes, there was inside by the fucking upstairs.
So like
banquet
the little,
hall.
Yeah. So upstairs at the banquet hall, we had we had this cubby underneath, like where one of the computers was. We kept like all the ketchup and shit in there. Andrea, in the middle of like a prime rib dinner service, like supposed to be.
No, it was during a tournament.
Was it
Because
during?
it was during the fire
okay.
department tournament. Thank God those guys were there.
Because she opens up these doors to grab a ketchup, and there's a fucking raccoon in
Just
there.
sleeping, being all fucking raccoony in there. And it was so.
Raccoon.
It was
Yeah,
fucking-
that we had some experiences
Well,
with raccoons.
Raccoons are cute.
They are
No,
until
no,
they.
I don't.
You
I
can
will
make them
never
pet. I mean, you shouldn't. But
I
you
will
can
never
make them pets.
subscribe to that.
Yeah, I don't think bringing because I feel like raccoons could just flip at any second.
yeah. It's
They're
like-
your pet, and then they're fucking ripping your face off.
Yeah, they're scary, I guess, in the sense of like unpredictable.
Yeah,
Um.
like tigers and shit.
Yeah, well, and like I've grown up in, like I said, in a
Like
rural
you're
area.
familiar with
Like,
wildlife.
yes, we also have coyotes on the golf course, and these guys are like the size of wolves because they just eat the geese all day long.
Oh,
so they're
shit.
these massive things.
So that's why
Those
they don't
scare
leave.
me because when they cry at night, it sounds like babies are crying.
Yes.
Mhm.
and our like they want to lure animals out, so like that's
Mhm.
why they do it. And like our dogs are like super into it, and it creeps me out. I
Yeah,
don't like it.
no, the coyotes definitely have a certain sound about them that is very unsettling. And
Yeah.
when I think that's their mating call.
Yeah.
When they're like in heat.
Really.
Yeah.
Well,
Really?
let's continue our heat. And we actually forgot to let's just show the picks really fast.
Oh,
Give you
yeah.
our
We have to
picks
go,
for
guys.
the RBC Heritage
wrong
at
way.
Harbortown. I've got Tommy Fleetwood going to win his first ever PGA Tour event this week. Got it boosted on the Bet365 app. Shane Lowry, do you know Shane Lowry is #1 on the PGA Tour in approach shots, proximity to hole and approach shots, 125 to 150 yards. Great for Harbortown, great
That
ball
is a
striker.
Great stat drop there.
And then Brian Harmon, this is a course he can win at. So after his great back nine at Augusta and having the weekend off, I'm sure he headed to Hilton Head a little early. So I feel
Don't
like he's going to
blame
be
him.
prepared for this bad boy.
Perfect. I think Ludwig continues his hot streak. No reason why he shouldn't. He's just a fucking machine. Denny McCarthy played very well in San Antonio a couple weeks ago. He putts the fucking lights out of it, which is always huge at Harbortown. And Brendan Todd hits it nowhere. So this is the perfect course for him. He hits driver. It goes nowhere, but he hits it dead straight. So I actually like my lineup. Spencer was shit talking me earlier. I don't know where that came from.
I was just
so.
trying to make conversation with my brother. That's
Yeah.
all.
Okay.
That was a good, nice conversation.
We're
on
going to
the
go play a
pod.
little golf after.
We are. We're going to go play a little golf this evening. Bring the kids. So that should be a complete disaster, but we're going to give it a shot anyways.
Coors
Thanks.
Lights on deck.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back Monday with our Winner's Circle recap of another signature event this weekend, the RBC Heritage at Harbortown. Appreciate you all tuning in. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on the YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. If you're listening to this audio version, give us a rating on there. We appreciate you guys all tuning in. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday. Peace.